Hello and welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Maria is missing and we have to find her. But before we find her, I want to take a brief moment to talk about something that I'm sure you might be interested in, which is where the demo for this game ended. Now, why are you interested? Well, the demo was widely spread as a very long demo, right? It was a very big part of the game. So, I was intrigued to see how far they let you in now that we have got to what I think would be after the end of the demo. So, the demo for this game actually lets you get to the calendar section, and I believe, from what I've read, you're allowed 3 days, and you can get to the first boss of the dungeon, or of the main dungeon, and you can do the entire side dungeon, and I think the desert as well. So there's an awful lot of content in that, like there's a huge amount that you could do. Effectively, the only thing that they were missing is the end of the cathedral, and that would be pretty much what we've done that you would be able to access. Apparently what it did is if you got to the final fight, it would say, you should save, and then immediately after the fight, it would just end the demo, and that would be it. So, yeah, just thought that was interesting, how much of the game they were willing to show. And it's also interesting because that means that we are now in content that they didn't show in the demo. I mean, the end of the cathedral they didn't show as well, but what I'm meaning is, this is now completely, like, we're after the point where they were trying to sell you on the game. I think things are probably about to ramp up a little bit, but we'll see, Anyway, you know where Maria is?
Whatever.
Maria? Oh, you mean that kid? Yeah, I saw her earlier. Really? Where was she headed? The stairs north of Sunshade Row. You know, by the general store. Didn't look to be running an errand, though.
Hey!
The general store. We might find someone else who saw her if we head over there. Alright, well, I know where that is, roughly. It's this way to the right, and then all the way to the end, I think? Oh, hello.
What you need?
The army apparently took care of that necromancer everyone's been talking about. He should have been judged here. That would have made everyone feel much better.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Hello. Fancy a wager on who'll become the next king? I'm going all or nothing on Luis. Heh, he'll just end up being Ford. Sorry, but this is easy money for me. The safe and boring pick, eh? I'm looking forward to the results. Hello.
Hey, mister!
I bet the next king's gonna punish the bad tribes. You better run away, Eldar. They're gonna kill ya. Okay. Well, threatened by a child wasn't on my list, but okay. Hello, activist woman.
Sorry, but...
Ah, hello.
Hey!
Say, we're looking for a little girl. Have you seen anyone like that around here? Oh, could it be that half-blood? If so, then yes, I did see her here. She was muttering papa and looking all sad. I saw her go through the back alley. Maria, could she have gone to the Grand Cathedral? Maybe. Let's find out. Okay, so to the Grand Cathedral. We'll go this way. We're just gonna head there. Okay. Oh, chats. The Sanctus Church confirmed it. A new king will be crowned on the Day of the Hero, just as a giant rock in the sky said. Day of the Hero? That's the day that commemorates the crowning of the first king of Uchronia after he won the Annex War, isn't it? Yes, and although we have a festival every year to celebrate our nation's founding, it seems this year will be on a grander scale entirely. Okay, interesting. Wait, is she in here? Oh.
Hello there.
Do you know that little half-blood girl? You can't let a girl like that walk the streets alone. You're just asking for trouble. She just went inside. Wait, you let her pass? Why? The way her eyes looked. I'd not be the one to stop her now. She's been coming to pray for a while, no matter how many glares she gets. Evening. Oh, we're back inside.
Huh? Why?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Papa hasn't come home. And I always come here whenever I'm feeling lonely. One time he came here to get me. I remember because he called my name, but I pray, and he still doesn't come back. Maybe because the cathedral is broken?
Maria.
Miss Fabienne says Papa can't come home anymore, but I know Papa's gone away. He's gone somewhere I'll never see him again, hasn't he? It's going to be so lonely. The loneliest it's ever been. But I have to be strong, don't I? But if it gets any lonelier, I don't know if I can do it.
I'm sorry. I promised we'd all come back together.
Why does everyone always leave? Mum was sick. The king and prince are gone. And now Papa? Why does everyone always leave?
Interesting. Actually, I assume that she may have known the prince and the king if Grius was in the king's employ. That's kind of interesting to think about, although she would have been quite young.
Is it my fault? I really did my best to be a good girl, but...
But we'll just let her vent.
Look, Maria, I need you to know, this isn't your fault.
Listen to me, all right? Your father, he was fighting a very bad man. We were with him, but we couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
I remember Papa saying something like that. He said, a really bad man might be our king. Is that part of it?
It'll work out.
It'll work out somehow. I'm sure of it.
I hope the next king is as nice as you. Then maybe things won't always be so sad.
In my ideal world, people can believe in their future. Their birth doesn't matter. The prince told me that once.
I think I understand the king's intentions now. Maybe this is the sort of tragedy he was trying to end. Maybe he wanted a world where the crown goes to one who acts like a king ought to. Not whoever's willing to spill the most blood to do it.
You may be right, but much as we wish it, this is not a fight that might be ended through words alone.
Even so, we have to try.
Maria, you're safe. Oh, you had me worried sick.
I'm sorry for leaving on my own.
No, it's all right.
Miss Fabienne, I'm hungry.
Maria, yes, that's right. Let's all sit down for some supper together. Thank you for finding her.
It looks like she's worked things out.
She's a strong girl.
But we've more troubles ahead. How now do we resolve this curse upon His Highness?
We kill Luis. I don't think the plan needs to change. Now, how we kill him, that's a little bit more of a problem for us. We'll need to work that one out. Also, there's an animal in that box behind Stroll. I hadn't noticed that until now. We're going to need to take a closer look. I think that might be... I'm guessing it's a Badoo, as in the thing that I'm assuming is the stand-in for chicken. I hadn't noticed it until this exact moment. Sorry, it's very distracting.
If Luis is the curse's caster, we've got to kill him to dispel it. So how do we do that if he's shielded by the king himself?
I wish I could report back, but the prince is still asleep, and we're losing time. I don't think going back to the village is an option.
We cannot lose faith yet. There must be some further course we can pursue.
Well, there's the church's announcement. I expect they're trying to stop a wave of rival candidates from flooding the standings. I doubt the church would accept this popularity contest if they didn't already have a plan to game it.
True enough. I can only wonder at their aims. For today, we should content ourselves with rest and recovery.
Okay.
Sorry, did I wake you? Laying here, I always end up caught in my own thoughts. Grius and Maria. The prince. Just thinking in circles again. Not good, is it?
Let's think about it together. Yeah. Tell me what's bothering you.
Let's think about it together.
Keeping me company, are you? You really are a strange one. My kind of strange, if I'm honest. That book, is that the novel you're always carrying around? Feels like months ago now that I spotted you buried in it on the carriage ride to the fort.
Can you read? That's an interesting question. You would think as a noble he might be able to read, but I hadn't realized that reading was not... I mean, it makes sense, but it's not a common thing in this world, or it may not be as common as we would think in this world. I guess we have been hanging around, basically, people who are in royal employ, which, you know, would kind of... You'd expect most of them would be literate. We don't know about everyone else. Anyway, want to read it?
Want to read it?
If you don't mind, since we've finally some room to breathe.
Okay. I guess if we'd asked can he read, he might have been insulted? Not entirely sure.
Oh, interesting. It's written through the lens of a fictional land. This bit's about the Utopia's security.
That's interesting. If it's a utopia, why does it need security?
In this world, there is no blood-stained contest for sovereignty. The people choose their sovereign from among themselves. One cannot put a sovereign to the sword to seize power. Such an act would be met with scorn and judged as murder. Taking power or wealth by force is seen as the most shameful of transgressions. Couldn't be further from reality, could it? We've a kingslayer on the brink of seizing the throne right now. And this idea of competing for public support. Here it sounds so commonplace, but the idea's thrown us all into chaos. Interesting. Perhaps I'm overthinking, but it sounds almost like the aim of the king's magic. You suppose there's some common inspiration?
Well, if it's the prince's book, then you have to assume the king might have known something about it.
Still, I don't imagine this would turn out well in the real world. In public opinion, tribal perspective always divides us.
And the king is the person who imprisoned Moore, so I guess that makes some sense.
Besides, does a decision made by the people guarantee it's right? Tribal squabbles aren't always political. Take us Clamars, for example. It can be hard for us to see outside the bubble of our own worldview. We're the majority, and the tribe of the royal bloodline besides. That privilege can make us insensitive. A problem with no easy solution, I fear. Lofty words. I can hardly come to terms with my own ideals. Still, the discussions helped clear my head a little. Thank you. I've been so fixated on killing Luis, but maybe we could look into whether that's really the only way to lift the curse.
Yeah, but it's such an easy way. Just one person. Just kill one person. So how hard could that be?
Sleep should come easier now. I think I'll give it another chance. Wait, how long have you been asleep?
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Ladies and gents, have you heard the news? The curtain's about to rise on the show of a lifetime. To choose our new ruler, we're going to give all of you a chance to take center stage in a show of power for the whole kingdom. And we call it the Tournament for the Throne. Our aspirants will set out on a grand tour of the 3 allied nations' capitals, taking part in a variety of exciting trials. First, we have the Exhibition of the Brave. Slay a monster plaguing our fair people and bring its head to Oceania's capital in time. Biggest find takes the win. Official word is, this event's open to all. So what do you think, ladies and gents? Are you in it to watch, or in it to win?
Stroll? Why call us so early in the morning? What is that journal?
I had Fabienne bring it up. Something occurred to me, so I asked her to go through Grius' personal effects.
Hey, looks like he was investigating the curse too.
There's a note here. Given the spell's complexity, it must have required a scribed formula.
You mean to suggest Luis possesses a written composition of the curse somewhere? And if we can find that...
Okay, like, just because it requires a scribed formula doesn't mean he had to keep the scribed formula, right? Like, he could have just done the curse and then destroyed it. But, okay.
Yes. I'd wager, even if we can't kill Luis, we might still have a shot at breaking the curse.
But that attack took place years ago, didn't it? This curse's formula could be lost for good.
We have little choice but to hope it's not. I'm not saying it would be easy, and the real trick will be finding it. You wouldn't leave it unprotected.
That reminds me. A crier for the church was handing these out.
A flyer for the Tournament for the Throne. This popularity contest is state-sponsored now. An interesting gamble for those politicians. I like the bit about all this being in the interest of fairness, those weasels. But saying it's being organized by the state. The throne's empty. This smells like the theocracy at work. Probably Forden himself.
You think Forden's looking to fix the competition in his favor? He's been in first place this whole time.
In the interest of fairness, remember? If he wins a fair race, he gets legitimized, and Luis gets put on the back foot.
That bodes ill. Those with existing support could easily solidify their claim. Even should His Highness wake, he may lose the throne.
If we don't hurry and find a way to get close to Luis, we're sunk. What are we supposed to do?
We need a plan, and then we can take action. As an elder, I'm an outcast in this city. I think that gives us an advantage here. We enter the tournament for the throne, we get the people's attention, or we make Luis come to us. Well, I do kind of want to enter the tournament. That would get the people's attention, and that would make Luis come to us. So these are the same thing, I think. Let's say it this way. We make Luis come to us. Because I think that sounds better story-wise. Just saying, oh, we're going to enter the tournament. Like, okay, that's a little bit of a leap. But if we're entering the tournament because Luis is coming to us, well, that's slightly different.
We'll make Luis come to us.
How would we accomplish that? We're but strangers to him, and he gains nothing from it.
You really don't think there's a way? We get the people's attention.
Couldn't we get the people's attention somehow?
How do you mean?
If we make ourselves too obvious, we're likely to have an even harder time getting close to Luis.
What should we do? This is we enter the tournament for the throne.
Let's enter this tournament for the throne.
Huh? Hey, were you even listening to us? Besides, the prince isn't exactly in a position to take part in...
Wait. It sounds crazy, but I think he might be onto something there. This could be just the excuse we need to get close to Luis. He doesn't care about your tribe so long as you prove capable, yes? That's what Zorba was saying. Which means, even though the world looks down on you as an elder, having the power to kill humans puts you in his good graces.
You're going to make him a candidate for the throne?
If all we need to do is get Luis's attention, then that's sure to get the job done. If we're lucky, he might even try to recruit us.
I see. An undercover operation, is it? Quite a gambit. But it may well be our best chance at finding this formula.
Just hold on a second. Getting Luis's attention is all well and good. But remember who's actually risking their life here.
Infiltrating Luis's ranks will be dangerous if I'm found out. If I'm found out, I'll be as good as dead.
What do you think? Having heard all this, do you want to enter the running?
Well, it doesn't sound like I have a choice in the matter, which I guess is fate.
No point fighting my fate.
Your courage is admirable.
Right.
I'm reminded of the words the prince spoke to me in our youth.
In my ideal world, people can believe in their future. Their birth doesn't matter. No matter who someone is, they deserve a fair country. If it's to help achieve that, I will stand for the prince as a candidate for the throne.
Sheesh. So much for being a guide. Now you're the one leading me around.
Okay. I just want to bring him up on something here. I will stand for the prince as a candidate for the throne? Nobody said those were in the rules. It didn't say that you could stand for somebody else. Unless we're going to specifically be like, nah, we've helped you out, so you should vote for this other person. That doesn't seem... I mean, it might work, but it seems like people would want us to be in charge of the throne, if that was the case. I think that basically... Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to work. But, hey, what do I know? Yeah, I don't see how that would put the prince in charge, but we'll see. Although, if the prince... Here's an interesting one. If the prince was in the top 20, and he's currently in danger from the curse, could the royal magic help him? That's interesting.
Your resolve has marked you a fine fit for the role. I have trusted you with my life before, and would gladly do so again.
Or because it's before the magic started, does that invalidate it? Also, I inherited Grius's journal. Can we read it?
Good heavens. Haven't you put yourself in enough danger? Listen to me. I don't want you going down the same path he did. Are you really this set on running off again?
Yes.
Yes. I've got a job to do.
Oh, familiar words. I'll be cheering for you in this mess of a competition. Truth be told, I wish I could do more than feed and shelter you.
What's the competition?
It's a big, grand race to see who will be the next king. The whole country will be watching.
So you're going to try and become king? Wow! Then I'll cheer for you as loud as I can.
You have your first advocate, it seems.
Suppose you'll have to actually try for the throne now, eh? Your Majesty.
Okay, so I must have misread this previous one back here about the prince. At least as far as I can see. I'll stand for the prince as a candidate for the throne. So he's just meaning he'll stand for the prince's ideals, I think. Like, in spirit. Anyway. Well. That's the plan.
That was the plan from the start.
That's the spirit.
Well, if we want Luis to notice you, we'll have to make quite a stir among the people. Maybe reaching for the throne will do it.
Or, of course, he could have meant that he'll stand as a candidate for the prince as he's using it as a way to get in Luis's good books in order to infiltrate Luis's camp. Which also makes perfect sense. I think I just read it wrong the first time.
Does that mean you're not coming back?
No, we'll be back. Although we might be a while.
I don't like when it gets lonely.
Maria.
But I'll be cheering for you. I hope you win the race. You be a good king.
We'll meet again.
We'll see each other again.
You better not forget.
Now, we'd best get registration out of the way, but we'll need some legs for the journey. It's mostly lawless wastes between cities.
We've got 8 legs between the 4 of us. That seems like plenty of legs to me.
Judging by this specified deadline, we are unlikely to reach the Principality of Oceana's capital in time on foot.
I bet all these fancy nobles have their own gauntlet runners to ride in.
A carriage might save our chances, if we could find one. Perhaps we split up for now. I'll leave you 2 to the registration. They should be taking entrance at the recruitment center.
Okay.
This should be the place, right?
Excuse us, we're looking to join the tournament for the throne.
Aye? Bit young, ain't ya? And who's the kid? He with you?
I'm the one entering.
I'm the one entering.
You? Really?
I've not heard of any age restrictions. There a problem?
Well, I'd not have thought it, but you're an elder, ain't ya? And you want to be king. Well, The novelty of it might win you some looks.
Could you just do your job, please? Can he register or not?
Ah, an elder. Now that I think of it, weren't you in that pack of recruits that went off to the northern fort? Thought I heard they were all wiped out.
That's a different elder, and he had a different fairy with him, maybe, if he had a fairy with him.
What? We got a deserter turning up.
No, they said he'd just dragged the company down, so they left him at the capital. He, got on the captain's bad side.
Could swear I've seen you before, too. Well, hardly matters with no captain to verify it with. Go on, then. You can represent the lesser tribes so nobody complains.
Whew. That was a close one.
And, obviously, you're gonna need a carriage. Otherwise, the whole thing's off for you. You're obligated to attend the opening ceremony tomorrow. It'll be at the plaza at the Grand Cathedral. Don't be late.
We'll have to hope Hulkenberg can find us a carriage.
As for us, I expect we should see about finding a monster to slay. If it's not impressive enough, Luis won't look twice at you.
Some postings over there. They should be offering bounties on monsters the guard can't handle. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's do that.
Looks like everyone else had the same idea.
One of these bounties is bound to make me stand out.
But which? Bigger is probably better.
Hang on! There's nothing but small-time contracts here!
Are you not here for this tournament, then? Bit slow, I'm afraid. Most of my worthiest monster bills have already been snapped up by other competitors.
How about requests on anything aside from monsters? Bounties include criminals too, right?
I suppose I've got one of those, yeah.
Let's see. Ugh, he's horrible. Heisme, a villainous kidnapper. Looks like the army's been trying to catch him for a while now.
This might just be perfect.
Whoa. You have any idea who that is?
I don't, but I also don't have any idea who you are, my very odd-looking fellow.
That man's an elite. An ex-royal knight, they say. He'd make short work of a scrawny little urchin, you can be sure of that.
His look is very odd. Like, it's intriguing, it draws you in. He's got kind of, half of him's got like a little swordsman thing going on. And the other half of him, I'm not entirely sure. It looks like he's wearing a bathrobe. He's got a very angry dog with a gold chain, obviously. And judging by his jewelry around his neck, he worships sanctism. But beyond that, not entirely sure.
Besides, didn't you hear what it is they're actually looking for?
Oh, of course. It's about whoever can bring in the biggest monster head, right?
If you imbeciles can't even get that straight, you've no chance at winning. They want kingly types, not children play acting.
Stuck-up little... Is that the kind of competition we can expect?
He was right about the rules, though. What are you thinking?
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
We're supposed to get a monster's head. So why are you going for a criminal? Any idea what he's up to?
Maybe he has a big head?
Maybe this criminal has a really big head?
Come on, that's a stretch. And if he had a gigantic head, you'd think they'd mention it in the contract.
Don't worry, I'll explain everything later.
As long as you can convince Hulkenberg, I guess.
Ho there! Are you really taking the bounty on Heisme?
Oh, it's you.
You three must be heaven sent. Please, would you listen to our plight?
Okay.
Your pardon, gentlemen. I'm Barton, a guard captain from Atira, a town to the south. The bounty on Heisme is up at my behest.
A guard captain? This fellow's made some powerful enemies.
We can't afford lenience. On top of his past crimes, Heisme has stooped to abducting our wee ones. Our children. Selling them off, some say. If our city becomes known for nightly disappearances, what sane resident would stay? Community and trade will dwindle and die.
But he's just a lone kidnapper, right? Even if he's some infamous criminal, why can't the guard handle it?
That's the trouble. He makes his hideout somewhere too dangerous for our soldiers to tread. Deep in the territory of vicious giant worms. We've no idea how he manages to operate out there without getting devoured himself.
I see. Tricky problem indeed.
I'd no choice but to swallow my pride and post a bounty. Yet no matter how many times I renew the bill, none have taken it. A pitiful sight, isn't it? A soldier who can't protect his home, whether by strength or by surrender. Laugh if you must.
We would never laugh.
We would never laugh at such a plight.
You only cast away your honor in the name of protection. Nothing pitiful in that. Swallow your pride no more, man. We'll take your contract.
Thanks to you. That you'd accept such a perilous request, even with this tournament looming over everything. Closure. Thank you all, and thank God for bringing you to me. In that case, we shall meet in Matira, the old castle town. Please, make haste.
Okay.
Well, no backing out of this now. You sure this is what we want?
Way I see it, if we want to make a big impact this late, it's going to take some creativity. Besides, this is apparently a knight-turned-kidnapper. The man can't be allowed to go on. What would His Royal Highness do in our place?
I guess that's fair.
I'll convince Hulkenberg. Somehow. You go on and accept the contract.
Okay. Memorandum? Okay. What have we got in our memorandum? We have a lot. Okay. Bartria, Old Castle Town. A town southwest of Grand Trad off the main road. Developed from a town originally formed around Krigant Castle, a military stronghold of the Annex War. The town's distance from the main road gives it a sense of isolation and, some say, a certain gloom. One of Uchronia's closest towns to the Oceanian border, which made it a cornerstone of Uchronia's defense against Oceania during the Annex War. The relatively flat terrain affords the castle's watchtower a clear view of the town's environs. Any movement or mobilization from Oceania was thus immediately observed, making it impossible to launch a surprise attack on the town, especially as the war predated the invention of the swift, powerful gauntlet runners of modern fame. However, its time as the keystone of Uchronia's front lines has long since passed into history. Okay, let's hear more about Oceania. Principality of Oceania, one of the Kingdom of Uchronia's three constituent countries, occupying its westernmost lands. The Oceanian capital, Port Brailhaven, is the largest trade port in the kingdom. Owing to a history of extensive sea route trade with civilians and pirates alike, it's been known for its powerful navy since before the Annex War, and a rich culture centered on its warriors of the sea. Tournament for the Throne. A large-scale tournament where the prospective candidates compete to gain the approval of the people. The winner of this popularity contest will then be crowned king. The crowned theocracy proclaim themselves to be the organizers after the invocation of the royal magic by the previous king. The stated purpose is for candidates to prove their worth by completing tasks while visiting the three capitals of the United Kingdoms. But could there be an ulterior motive? Also, what's interesting about this tournament of the throne is, as Stroll said, this is them effectively trying to rig it by making it a tournament that they can control, rather than everybody just trying to do their own thing to try and get themselves noticed. But even if it is them trying to rig it, you don't actually need to be in the tournament to be one of the top 3, or even to be top 20 or to be thought about at all. You just need people to believe that you should be in charge, which is interesting. I wonder how that's I wonder how that's going to work. Exhibition of the Brave. A grandiose event celebrating the first task of the tournament for the throne. For this exhibition, candidates are to neutralize a dangerous creature disrupting the peace of the nation. They must then bring its head to port Real Haven on the Principality of Oceania to await judgment of their asset by the masses. The party will have to prepare something spectacular to catch the attention of Luis, who has refused to participate in this mission. Ah, there you go. Luis has refused to participate. We don't actually know that yet, but that's going back to what I was saying. The church want control over it by doing this tournament, but you don't actually have to enter the tournament to be on the stone. Interesting. Okay. Curse formula. A diagram of the formula created to cast the curse on the prince. The curse magic is so complex, none have yet been able to undo its tangled weave. The convoluted nature of this spell has led to the belief the spellcaster drew the formula as they composed it. Obtaining and deciphering this formula may enable the curse to be revoked. Considering that Luis is protected by the royal magic and now cannot be killed, this is the party's last hope to lift the curse. People. Who have we learned about? Ah, Barden. Elphas Barden, a strapping Rusant warrior serving as captain of the guard corps in Martria. Also, worth pointing out here that Rusant we've heard of as the women being more martially focused. So having him be a guard captain is a little bit unusual for their tribe. A man of integrity, his careful and fair judgment is so trusted. He's treated as right-hand man to the Lady of Martria. He travelled a great distance to Grand Trad to post a bounty for the criminal responsible for an unsolved series of kidnappings plaguing Martria. Yeah, so if we go back up to... Actually, it isn't here. Rusant. Where is it? They often boast excellent physiques, which give them superior martial prowess. Rusant women are stronger than most of the men of their tribe. So I guess it doesn't mean... I guess it could be that... let's say the average of all the tribes is 8. Men are 9s, and then women are 10s, right? In terms of martial prowess. So I guess it might not be that unusual, but it's slightly more unusual based upon what we've heard. Okay, we got some mumbles.
Oi, oi.
Oh, what's a whippersnapper like you doing here? Don't tell me. Are you actually thinking of participating in the tournament for the throne? Oh, the audacity of youth. That's Rich, a mere fledgling with no history or experience to speak of. As king, the idea makes me sick to my stomach.
No, thank you.
The ideal leader of this country is a dignified man of a great age, one of years of experience, and yet upstart school children like you and Luis dare to. Look, the only thing that's older than this codger is endless complaints. Let's just ignore him and head to the reception desk. I suppose he's a candidate too. They did give him a name, didn't they? Hence of youth.
What in the blazes?
Think. A beat-down gauntlet runner like my dad's can't handle much. If I really want to be king, I gotta go big and nab something that'll stand out in the exhibition. Okay. What a bunch of idiots. It's almost laughable. They think they have a shot at becoming king. Oh, what a bunch of jokers.
Hey!
Hey, would it be alright if we accepted the bounty contract for Haizame? Haizame, you sure you can handle that? We can't be held liable if you get yourself killed out there. Hold on. I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted to finish hearing what everyone has to say. Hello.
Hello there.
There's only one requirement to register at the recruitment center. Be from Grand Trad. Interesting. Wait, to register for the Tournament of the Throne or to register for the army? Oh. To be in the opening ceremony, you have to declare yourself a resident. Oceania and Montario have their own registries. We're not really a resident of Grand Trad, at least not permanently. That's interesting that that's a requirement, because we don't fulfill it. Well, I suppose that keeps it fair, and hey, mind your own business, Elder. Yeah, interesting. Okay. The only reason it's actually intriguing to me is that they brought it up. Because if they bring it up, I assume that means that they could use it in the future. So it kind of makes me wonder whether that's going to be a plot point at some point.
True.
If a guard captain is struggling with this bounty, I say it's the perfect target for us. I don't think many would take it from out from under us, but May as well grab the request besides. Makes it official. Can I grab it from here?
Look at that.
Sure, a lot of wanted posters. Almost all the requests are gone. The only one left worth taking is the bounty for Haizame, whatever that is. What does Stroll think we'd gain here? I guess let's take this Haizame one at the window. Okay, sure.
Hey!
Yeah, we're gonna take that. You're an odd one, alright. Either that or you're just green. Head to Martria. You can probably get more information there. Press start. The old castle town kidnapper. Need to find and bring in Haizame, a notorious criminal tied to a series of kidnappings in Martria. Despite his bounty, he has evaded capture and his true identity remains a mystery. Although judging by the silhouette, we can assume he's a Tlemar, just by the horns. Also, reward. We get courage increase, but we also get we get 100,000 Reeve. That's quite a bit more than the other bounties we've been getting, and the other rewards we've been getting.
Let's call it.
Okay, we got the contract. Let's head back to the inn for now.
No registration issues, I trust?
None.
No, indeed. And we found ourselves a perfect target.
Fine work.
Stroll.
See? She's convinced. Nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. I'll prepare a map of the surrounding areas as well. But never mind that. Have you found us a kingly carriage?
Well, I have made some arrangements. How best to put it? The vessel itself is without peer. Supposedly, it will come to us on the day of the opening ceremony.
You don't sound too sure about that.
Oh, no, I'm certain. All I mean to say is, well, you shall soon see for yourself.
Well, under the circumstances, I'll take what we can get. And setting that up in a day. Not so bad having a knight on our side.
You needn't speak so. In truth, I've just resigned from the Knight's Order. Though 'tis only my bond of service I relinquish, not my title. We will shortly be seeking Luis's esteem. Should it come to light that I am a knight in active service, it may jeopardize our efforts.
Still, you didn't hesitate to leave. I can tell you're serious about this.
It was not an abrupt parting. I've come to doubt the Order since returning to find them serving the Santifex and not the Royals. Those who refused the Church's rule were cast out for their defiance. I only hope those fallen knights found useful employ elsewhere.
Sounds like you've been through a lot too.
Well, in any case, we can focus on our bounty contract now. Let's make sure we get some proper rest tonight.
Okay. The opening ceremony for the tournament is tomorrow.
Let's rest.
We should probably stay inside and rest today.
Well met, eh?
Hey, will you be staying at this inn for some time? I'd really like to, but... so you like it here too, then you're one of us. Well, wherever it is that you end up going, be sure to come and see Maria and Fabienne again. Not that it's really my concern, but those two seem to like you a lot. Oh, that's nice. Hello.
Fancy a bit of him?
Got any new info? Oh, alright. Cool.
Hey.
Ask Fabienne for a map of Martria, and she gave me the one from Grius' personal effects. It covers all the main roads. We may have found one in town, but a military map always has more details.
Yeah.
Fabienne continues to be our anchor. To pay her back, let's achieve our goals. Oh, that reminds me.
What now?
Grius' journal. Is there anything new in here? No. Okay. It's just a thing. Actually, can we click on it?
What now?
Just to be sure. Yup, it does nothing. Hello.
Hello.
I've decided I'm heading to Breelhaven. It's much too boring to just spend my days at the inn. I'm gonna see that so-called exhibition for myself. Goodbye, Elda. You'd do well to see the world too someday. Yeah, the world outside of Grand Trad's walls. What a thing that would be. Anyway.
Now then.
Our preparations seem to be proceeding without issue. Well, apart from one massive, over-tuned uncertainty. Never mind. Forgive my mutterings. Just please do not be surprised no matter what we're presented with.
Don't push yourself too much.
Tomorrow you must depart. Maria will assuredly miss you dearly. So please come back and say hello when you can. even if it's only every once in a while. Okay. I'm not allowed to leave? Well, I guess I'll head upstairs and save. That seems like a good idea. Okay. I have done that. I haven't seen Maria since I came back from the recruitment center. I wonder if something's wrong.
What?
This is Hulkenberg's room. She'll get angry if you go in without her permission. Alright, well I won't then. I guess I will stay in the bed, as that's my only option. The bed is simple but clean and has an aroma that reminds me of a clear sunny day. Maybe it's time to call it a night?
Good night.
Rest well.
Can I come in?
I suppose. Were we trying to fall asleep with the candle on? Well, I guess it kind of makes sense given that Stroll isn't here yet, but okay. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Well, you're all leaving tomorrow, right? I'll be cheering for you. So I just... Oh no. I promised Miss Fabian I wouldn't cry.
I won't tell her.
It's alright. I won't tell her.
Papa was trying to stop a bad man, you said. And that's what you're all doing too, isn't it? Please come back home safe. I'll be waiting here as long as it takes.
It's a promise.
It's a promise.
All right. Promise? The next time I see you again, can you tell me more about the outside world?
This one's important.
Quest start. Maria is waiting for us to return home and regale her with tales of the strange and distant places we visit. And we get a reward of food. That's good.
I never got a chance to say this to Papa. So, thank you. I'll go to bed now.
Captain, may I have a moment?
Good night.
I was hoping for a chance to speak before we set out. Since our meeting, I've done nothing but impose on you. Now, you risk your very life for this cause. 'Tis no easy burden. It pains me to see. When I think of how this may yet save His Highness, I lose sight of all else. Such disregard ill becomes me.
You truly are devoted to him.
You truly are devoted to him, aren't you?
I suppose I am at that. A guiding oath of 12 years is not easily cast aside. But that book, we met once before, on a carriage bound for the capital. Do you recall?
I do. And that was when... Wait, when you got me thrown out? That's not quite what happened, but yeah, when she slew those people.
Now that you mention it, I do.
My apologies. I thought only to minimize casualties, one way or another. So, 'tis a novel envisioning an ideal world. Curious to see a utopian novel these days. I'd thought them long since banned. You needn't worry. I've no intention of taking it from you. I've sometimes wondered why such books were forbidden. Rumors say the Sanctists objected to their contents. Yet I wonder, how could a simple book have possibly stung them so? Do you mind if I read a passage or two? So, it is a fiction written as if a personal account. This chapter seems to concern the system by which the nation's leader is decided. In this country, one cannot become even a statesman, much less sovereign, without the consent of the people. Those who aspire to statecraft must first solemnly swear before the people what they will do in service of their country. Should they earn title but break their word, they are denounced and stripped of power. Such is the authority of the people. In this way, it is the people who are the land's true king. Quite the opposite of our own country. Now I see why our upper echelons would abolish such texts. Had our lands embraced such accountability, Perhaps His Royal Highness would not have suffered such a fate. No. As a knight, it's not my place to say. I must clear my head of these fantasies. In the end, clinging to a dream will do me no good. Oh, I suppose 'tis not so bad to dream now and then. It takes power to walk the path of our dearest hopes. Perhaps that is the purpose of this newfound strength. My dearest dream. 'Tis to save His Highness, even at the cost of my life. Nothing more.
Okay.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It's interesting to see how the different people react to the book. Still not sure what's happening with it yet, but we'll see how they use it in the future. Also a real cutscene.
Judah!
Lady Judah!
Faraway sky, blue and clear. Echo my wish, so that all may hear. One and all born to this land, as here we stand. Let us greet the rising dawn, hand in hand. Faraway sky. Faraway sky so clear. Let my wish echo far beyond the
She's got my vote.
Even I'm feeling the heat. Well, I suppose it's time to fan the flames. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to the inauguration of the Tournament for the Throne! For the first time, the crown is anyone's to claim, as long as the aspirants can complete 3 grueling challenges.
Wow, a Sanctus Crier! He's perfect for this!
Let's discuss the venues. We kick off in the west, in the Pearl of the Coast, the Principality of Oceania's harbour city capital, Port Brilehaven. There, they face their first challenge, the Exhibition of the Brave. Each contender must bring back the head of a monster, a mark of their prowess and courage. Next, our would-be monarchs head east. Upon the misty peaks, we arrive in the Principality of Montario's beautiful city of faith, Altaberry Heights. And finally, our heroes make their well-deserved return home to Grand Trad. But first, let's do introductions. It's time to meet those risking their lives for the crown. Closest to the throne, I know him, you know him. It's Sanctism's one and only 78th Sanctifex, His Eminence, Forden! Victory to Sanctifex Forden!
I claim no great ambition, nor any heated calls to action. All I wish is to restore order for our people and to safeguard our land from the threats beyond. This chaos we face is but one of God's many trials. Let us restore our kingdom's glory together!
Moving right along, we come next to His Eminence's champion, the very spear in his hand, the warrior monk captain of the Crown Theocracy, Master Giddo.
I come before you only in loyal service of His Eminence. I relinquish the throne to him gladly. But those who would seize the crown by force, I will teach you to fear God and to fear me!
So much for this being a fair competition. How many horses do the Sanctus have in this race? Still, it's not over by far. The Luis supporters won't take this lying down.
What cowardice, crier! Where's Count Louise?
All right, settle down. At this time, I can report that Count Luis has not applied to enter the tournament.
What? He's not even entering?
Then what becomes of us? Our entire purpose in this race was to get closer to him.
Don't worry. He's definitely paying attention. He's only in second as it is, so we can't afford to ignore this whole production. Sit tight. I'm sure he'll make a move soon.
All right. For those Count Luis supporters, you might want to meet our next entrant. A rising socialite, a man of ambition, godless and fearless, the brash young warrior serving Count Luis, Gladel, the Black Hound.
Him? So he was one of Luis's men.
The fallen king embraced sanctism and all its holy tenets, and for what? He was nothing before Lord Luis. Look to the sky all you wish. No god can save you! What our country needs is power!
I may have misjudged his jewelry.
Well, it's not quite all the contenders, but let's get on with the introductions. The great liberal merchant, it's Roger Ward. By war, by conquest, by right, it's Rudolph Krauss. In it more for the gauntlet runners than the throne, it's Lena Caden. Sure to be popular by pledging free drinks for life, it's Loveless O'Shea. Uplifting the beautiful and deposing the hideous, it's Milo Maurizio.
Wow. If we lose this, I think the country has some even bigger problems.
Now, I do believe we have one final candidate. Do we have an Elden boy present? Come on, let's see a face.
What? An elder? Disgraceful. Is this the only way you could think to distinguish yourself?
By the way, the ride you applied with still hasn't arrived. And if it doesn't show up by the time the noon bell rings, you're disqualified. All right?
Hey! What's going on?
That nitwit! What is he doing?
Oh, back to the full cutscene.
Contestants, are you ready?
What? Blast, I say! Wait! Found your behave!
Oh.
A land runner?
It's quick! Wait, it's headed right for the...
It'll crash!
Whoa!
What the heck is that?
Wonderful. So much for a first impression.
What ho? Isn't she a marvel, chums?
You dolt! You nearly brought down the cathedral!
Have a care, you buffoon. 'Twas bad enough when Luis did it the first time.
That feckless, shameless old fool!
Not bad, kid. Guess you've got some interesting tricks up your sleeve after all. Right! I'd call that a full roster. Ladies and gentlemen, race across the land. Go! Prove yourself worthy and earn your crown. For the people, for the throne. Let the games begin!
We must take to the road.
Come on, come on!
get blown up!
It's incredible!
Ooh, our ranking went up at least. Although it's a little worrying that in a contest of 10, with Luis being out, we are still only 5,000th. It's not a great sign, but you know, we're higher. I ended up standing out more than I expected. I've gained a lot of interest, but I only consider this a part of my mission to aid the prince.
Just a sec.
Whoa, what's with this thing? Is this our carriage?
Can you hear me?
Shall I just run her along the main road then? The others seem to be doing as much. You're just as crazy as this runner. I'll take that as a compliment, little lady. Now let's have some coordinates for a little test run. What is happening right now?
Let's see.
We want to go to a place called Martria, the old castle town, I think. It should be a way south. Oh. Alright then.
Let's see.
Okay, so why would we want to stop?
Let's see.
So if I...
This place here.
Well, first of all, can I save here? No. So,
Let us hurry.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure why
Let us hurry.
I would need to rest
Let us
here
hurry.
yet, but let's see. What happens
This
if I just say to go to the town? A city on the main road between Grand Trad and Port Greelhaven. The old castle looming over the city centre is an incredible sight to behold. Oh, it automatically goes to these? No, it's not automatically going to these. I'm just trying to figure out what these symbols on it mean. Oh, it's just saying that these are the places we could go. I understand. Alright, so I'm going to click this.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Martria. Here it is. Down to Martria, eh? On this craft's legs. Oh, I'd say that'd be 4 days, 3 nights about.
Oh.
4 days and 3 nights. That's a great deal faster than a carriage, and surely the roads will be safer at that kind of speed. Molly good. Now let's cinch those britches, chaps. Full steam ahead to Martria Old Castletown.
This is amazing! I don't know a thing about gauntlet runners, but even I can tell this is a hell of a craft. I can hardly believe she's ours to drive.
You're telling me, lad? Feels like ages since I've been out on the open road. This girl's been waiting long enough for her time to shine.
So this is what you used to talk with the driver? Convenient, that. Look, old fellow, are you really on our side? You realize we don't have funds to pay you.
Money? Ha! I'm not in this for the money, boy. What I want is a little gusto. What do you think, lad? Isn't this a rush?
It is at that. Like riding the wind.
That's the ticket. It's been so long since I've had a good chinwag.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You've a good head on your shoulders, boy. Yes, I can tell you're a sharp one. Where to, ladies? The world is our shellfish.
You certainly are a different person behind the wheel.
Hey, Hulkenberg! Can we get an explanation yet?
That man is Neurus. An Ishkia, if 'twas not obvious from the wings. And despite everything, he was heir to a noble house and personal machinist for the royal family.
What?
He's a master engineer, of course, positively peerless. But as you can see, the runners get him a bit excitable.
Okay then. Noble District Underhall.
Neurus? Are you there? I'm coming in. Even amidst all this commotion in town, I find you buried in your work.
It's too much to do.
As always. To business, then. I must ask a favor. Would you be able to ready a carriage for me?
No new commissions. No time for them. Ask another right.
It is not a new one I require. Before His Highness disappeared, did you not accept a contract to build him a custom carriage? Without a formal owner, I reasoned that it must now lie unused. I was hoping I might borrow it a short while.
But pish and tosh, woman. She is for royal use and naught else.
'Tis an unreasonable request, I know. But I'd not be asking without a grave need. Might I at least see it?
I mean, well,
'Twas specially made for His Highness, yes? Not a work you'd have sold off. Where lies it now?
I've deadlines to meet, dash it. Off with you now. Leave me be.
You've been acting stranger than usual. What ails you?
Whoa!
Good God. Is this a gauntlet runner? The very craft commissioned for His Highness the Prince? Even knowing His Highness was gone, still you toiled away. Oh, Nuras, you are an inspiration. Such nobility of purpose.
Yes. Right.
However, for a craft meant for the royal family, it is rather excessive, isn't it? Did you really build this vehicle exactly to their orders?
He took the money and built his own one, didn't he?
You cannot mean...
Well, at first, certainly. I followed the blueprints exactly. But then His Highness died and... well, I couldn't just let the old girl waste away. A masterpiece like her? Collecting dust in storage? No! Unacceptable! Unthinkable! I'm working toward a dream. And this poor old girl is going to help me see it through. And then, finally...
You imbecile! A lowly, brazen court engineer butchering His Highness's inheritance for a hobby! For this mania! You embezzled the royal treasury and disrespected his legacy! Treason!
Mercy, please! Look, take my head if you must, milady. But leave the Balliol runner alone.
Look, this runner... 'tis fully operational now, is it? Then I suggest you cooperate, for both our sakes. Finish your tinkering by tomorrow and bring it to the Grand Cathedral as soon as you can.
Eh? What's all this now? You play the proud soldier at me and then pluck it for your own schemes?
'Tis no scheme. I would use it for His Highness's sake.
For His Highness, eh? Hold a tick. Haven't you been looking for him? Wandering across God knows where, last I heard. So if you're back now and now you want a gauntlet runner for His Highness... Is His Highness still alive? That's it! I've got you, haven't I?
'Twas His Highness who gave you refuge while you were only a heretical scholar condemned by the Sanctists. The time has come to repay His mercy.
Understood.
Okay, that was fairly easy once they got to the point.
Is that enough? Can this old duck really handle an undercover operation?
I know what you're thinking, but 'tis at least true that he feels an undying debt of gratitude to the royal family.
Pish and tosh, boy. A little faith. Not to brag, but this old duck's craft might be the fastest gauntlet runner in the kingdom. Why, probably the world. I think. Maybe.
How encouraging.
All I want is to push this runner as far and as fast as she can go. Show her off to the world. And you? Well, I presume you'd rather work together than have to walk, eh?
I don't know about this, but I guess we'll just have to trust him. What do you think?
I think we can count on him. Actually, you know what? We're together forever. If we die together.
Well, if we die, we all die together.
Ha! The boy's bold as brass.
Tis not an invitation, you dolt. Eyes on the road.
Either way, he knows the prince is alive, so we can't just leave him to his own devices. We're all in the same boat. Or runner, I guess.
You lot can handle the fighting, and I'll handle all the driving and grease work. Just make sure you've got a proper plan for all this mess now.
This guy's got no filter. But he has a point. We do need to talk strategy.
So, summing up. Our first trial is to slay a monster. We take its head as proof, then get it to the goal line before the deadline. The bigger the head, the better. Our destination is Port Brylehaven, the capital of the Western Principality of Oceania. It'd be a trek on foot, but this gauntlet runner should make it a snap.
So getting the bounty's head is our next move. And our target is a nefarious criminal who's been kidnapping and selling off children. Right?
A criminal? Did the task not specify a monster's head?
Don't worry, all part of the plan. We don't need to win this thing. We just need to get Luis's attention. Everyone's going to show up with monster heads, and we shake things up with a felon. A knight-turned-kidnapper at that. Shows them we're there for justice.
But to deliberately violate the rules, we risk being disqualified entirely.
Disqualified from an optional competition that we don't need to be a part of. Just as a little asterisk.
Then again, 'tis just as likely to win the people's attention and thereby Luis's. I do understand the intent. What do you think of this plan?
I trust all of you. Which is a nice way of saying I think the plan is bad, but I trust you.
I trust all of you completely.
Good enough for me. A captain's got to trust his crew, after all. The bounty's Heismay, an ex-knight. I realize that's a little close to home, Hulkenberg, so if you'd rather hang back...
No. His title is precisely why I cannot let his atrocities stand. And yet... 'tis strange indeed that we are hunting a mere man when the trial demands a monster. Then again, our true aim is beyond the ambitions of any other aspirant. Our fate rests in this plan of yours, Stroll.
Thank you. I'll try to ensure your trust isn't misplaced.
Okay.
Righto. Then our course is set. Feel free to use anything in the gauntlet runner. Even got a bathing room if you could use a wash.
Good to know. We can always look around more thoroughly later.
Yes. You needn't tire yourself out before we arrive.
Well, I'm a tinkerer and not much else. All my fighting happens in the old workshop. But I'll take you wherever you're going for your sake and mine. After all, the wilds out there are no berry picnic. Oh no. It's a den of wild beasts and savage scoundrels. And we'll not get past it without days on the road together. So, if you need anything besides a steady hand on the wheel, give me a hoot. Bound to find me in the cockpit or the engine room.
He's certainly an eccentric, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. We'll get used to him, I suppose.
Okay. The Gauntlet Runner. The Gauntlet Runner has various areas for different activities such as the strategy room, the lounge, and the kitchen. You can also visit Academia by finding more and interacting with them. Let's visit the engine room first. Take your time and have a look around on your way there.
Oh yeah?
I've never been in the Gauntlet Runner. Kinda want to see what the engine room's like. Well, we are now here in our own Gauntlet Runner. And it is time for us to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.